Come on, it's Saturday afternoon, late morning here, actually, in New Jersey. I'm back in town from a great visit. Took a week off, head over to Italy to fix up a new apartment. So really excited about that. Good Saturday morning for my friends in the U.S. and good afternoon to all my friends in Europe and abroad. I wanted to give everyone a few updates. So while you're watching, if you would just put in a little comment, even if you're watching later, I always go back and look at the comments. It has been an amazing few months as I've been talking to dozens and dozens of auto dealer group leaders, individual dealer principals. Good morning, Tony. Talking to CDP companies, customer data platform companies outside of automotive, inside of automotive, also companies which I'm calling hybrid companies. They have some elements of a CDP and they also do the marketing activation. And just some people who really focus on the marketing activation or the activation of data for my upcoming research report. And Robin, hello from Columbus, Ohio. It's good to see you. And Tony, congratulations on reaching your fitness goal. I think it was 100 days. Mike Liza, come on, Team Synchro. Excuse me, Team Encira in the house. David is asking about Pure Car CDP. That product was formerly called the Auto Miner. Maybe it's still called the Auto Miner. And Pure Cars very strategically purchased that product. David, I'll get to that in a minute. But there are a number of companies who have not elected to participate in the research report in a more detailed way. And I did have a conversation with the owner of the Auto Miner because a shared client of mine and now theirs are working a CDP project. But I have not been able to have some follow-up phone call discussions with the team at the Auto Miner, but I'll give you some feedback in general. So first of all, let me tell you that I understand why people have been confused in this area of consumer data management or first-party data management, because historically, dealers and the vendor community have not gotten along. So CRM's not talking with the DMS, the marketing company's not talking with the CRM or the DRMS. And we've basically had years of poor data management practices. Let me say that again. There's a unique opportunity to undo the mess of poor data management practices, both from the vendor community and the dealer community. The vendor community is notorious of just asking dealers, hey, give me a copy of your DMS or give me a copy of your CRM and I'll do something with it, never thinking about maybe those marketing outcomes should be updated in the dealer's master record. So we're in a very unique situation where some of the larger dealer groups are leading the way in investing in a customer data platform. I want to share with our team here two specific white papers. One is from Treasure Data on CDP use cases in automotive, and I really like this article. But this one's another one. Get to know your customers again. This is from Sitecore, and Sitecore is actually being used by one of the large public groups as their choice of CDP provider. I bring this up is because in the Sitecore PDF, they talk about that companies that invest in a great customer experience significantly outperform their peers, both in a financial and market share. I'm going to put the links for those two white papers that I've downloaded in the comments for those of you who would like to read those things. And part of the problem in this area is there's a little bit of cloak and dagger marketing that's going on. And, as I've talked with the companies, it's taken me weeks to process what people are saying and then try to figure out what questions I can ask to validate it. For example, a CDP in its pure form is very reliant on the data sources that it ingests. For example, and I call these mini CDPs, these hybrid platforms that are doing some data management and then marketing. So they really started more as a marketing platform and then realized that there were some significant benefits of organizing the dealer's data. But there are many platforms that are just ingesting the dealer's DMS and CRM data and stopping. That's it. And now they've given me excuses. Well, we don't need to ingest the phone data because that's not determinative. And I'm like, oh, it is. It's very determinative. I use my cell phone for everything. I don't have a house line. There are other people say, well, we don't integrate with text messaging platforms or chat platforms because that's really not important. But of course, that's really just a cover that their CDP isn't open to ingest as much data as possible. The key here is dealers need to be able to ask the right questions. And as I'm getting ready to publish this report, so there's a big difference if people are only ingesting DMS and CRM data compared to somebody who's ingesting website engagement data, chat, text, phone call data to really enhance the data record. There's a big difference in the CDP if they're bringing in third-party demographic data or identity and entity resolution tools. There's a big difference from somebody who's just trying to match names and addresses to some change of address database compared to somebody who has, the last 5 or 10 email addresses or the last 5 or 10 addresses for consumers who've moved a lot. I mean, I think at Carrie and myself, we've had 5, 6 different addresses in the last 10 years. So how do we know which platform meets the business needs of the dealer? And this is what the research report is trying to determine. There's also a big thing. There's confusion on what's legal and proper and what's not. And people that I love and trust some are just, from what I can tell, locked into a belief system that may not be true, meaning, well, you can't do this or you can't do this. But then I say, well, large public companies are doing that. Oh, they're wrong. I'm like, that's kind of odd. That's kind of odd. So the question is some CDPs are only managing the dealer's customer data, meaning if a customer comes on the website, they will resolve them and identify them and maybe activate some marketing. But if the customer is not in the dealer's CRM or DMS, they feel like, no, we cannot resolve them. We can't activate on them. There's other platforms say, no, that's completely fine. They're coming to the dealer's website. And then, of course, someone else says, Brian, that's why the phone calls and the texting and chat is so important, because when a consumer picks up the phone or calls or chats or text, it's basically an implied consent that they want to do business with you. Wow, it gets really complicated. And then there's other who are tracking consumers in the local market, whether they visit the dealer's website or not, and allow dealers to activate. In a sense, they know and create localized in-market shopper audiences. Some, even through reverse bid optimization, are learning, hey, this person was on cars.com or Auto Trader or Car Gurus, because the way the ad stream works. And then some people say, Brian, that's absolutely illegal. And other people say, no, let me show you why it's legal. There's a lot of confusion. And then when it comes to marketing activation, or let's talk about activation, there are some people like, yeah, we're a CDP and a marketing activation. And I'm like, great. What about personalizing the website? What about integrating with a texting platform or a digital voice assistant to activate this data in new ways other than marketing? And they're like, no, we don't do any of that. But we do send out Google campaigns and email campaigns and social media campaigns. And I say, well, what about OTT? No. What about direct mail? No. What about, and you can add to the list. So there's different belief systems on what's possible, what's not possible, what's legal, not legal. There are different philosophies on what data that they ingest. Oh, we only ingest the DMS and CRM, and others are like, give me as much data as possible. Now, when I talk to the largest CDP companies, the Teliums, the Treasure Data, Salesforce, Sitecore, these are big. They're like, more data, bring that data in. We will unify that data. Some other people say, oh, data's expensive. Data's not expensive. What's expensive is not having the correct view of the customer in all its richness. And I think also, and I see Robert Donovan's on. Robert, I'm looking forward to seeing at DMSC. Robert and I, we both run agencies, and here's what we realize. More and more dealers are going to be investing in a CDP, and our agencies now have to tap into and leverage that data to fully realize the benefits of the CDP for the dealer. And so you'll be seeing some announcements from PCG Digital in the coming weeks regarding that, and a new positioning of the agency in the marketplace. Because, hey, if we really believe that CDPs are the best way to increase the lifetime value of a customer, best way to increase the customer experience, like most large companies do outside of automotive, then we need an ecosystem that works. One of the things that's really sticky is that some of the best CDPs and CDP marketing automation partnerships or integration are not co-opable. And this is, Kevin Fry brought this up. Him and I were talking. He's like, Brian, there's a couple problems that I see for dealer groups. And maybe some of you can raise your hand and say, amen. If you're going to build a CDP that unifies all the customer data, why would you charge me on a per rooftop basis? Why wouldn't you come up with a price and say, hey, well, because per rooftop is the way it's been. And hold on, if there's a lot of work at the beginning to unify the data, shouldn't my cost over time go down? Because then you're just updating the data. But how about the bigger things? It's like, there's some really cool platforms that are CDPs and marketing automation, and they have a good, robust distribution channel across media, but they're not co-opable. So, Kevin and I were talking, he was just saying, hey, I'm going to be paying a per rooftop fee for my CDP, and I still have to pay the per rooftop marketing program. And this is because of just the OEM co-op rules. I was talking to the team at Shift Digital about this. The OEMs are going to have to reconsider, maybe even open up the companies that are co-opable, because if the dealers are investing in a CDP and they have really rich data, and that CDP is also a marketing automation platform that gives this feedback loop, shouldn't that be the best dollar spent for both the OEM and for the dealer? Tony asks, had you made any progress with GA4 and RV sites? It's interesting you bring that up, Tony, because we'll be doing a number of GA4 updates at the DMSC conference. We have started doing work in the RV space at PCG Digital. I reached out to a number of the RV website companies. No one had any interest in joining the Automotive Standards Council. There's also a couple mega companies that are roll-ups that actually own multiple RV platforms. I have no idea why they are not interested, other than maybe a level of transparency. We've seen some of the worst digital marketing campaigns being run in 2022 in the RV industry. We've seen the most waste in the RV industry that we've seen, that remind us like 10 years ago in automotive. So there may be some lack of transparency, because if every RV website was really tracking all the customer engagement as we now do in automotive, really marketing campaigns would really be improved. David was saying AutoMiner's customer data security and clean data is awesome, but you need PureCar's tech to target the consumers properly. So it appears to be a good match. But Brian is the expert here. So David, I think it was smart for PureCars to purchase the Automotive, and here's the reason why. PureCars is in many of the OEM co-op programs, and this is kind of like a little secret weapon. The AutoMiner on the surface seems to have a very impressive CDP strategy. Although, as I said, they didn't really participate any in the deep research, and some of the initial statements made by AutoMiner just didn't hold the test of integrity, specifically minimizing the importance of data ingestion outside of CRM and DMS. So again, I think that they're a smaller player that have built a very good platform, but not able at this point to understand the details of their process. The other thing that has come up, and again, I'm just sharing some observations, is a member of the CXO network who's been working on a CDP project for over a year said some of the CDPs also have poor user access management, meaning that too many cooks in the kitchen actually can screw up the data. And this is a very important thing that we have to address over the coming months and years, is that who has access to the CDP? What are the functions that are updating that data? How do we control that access to make sure we're not applying things that would actually corrupt the integrity of the database. David, you mentioned a couple things about PureCars. Most of the major CDPs have relationships now, real-time data from Axiom, Equifax, Experian, S&P Global, Mobility, Urban Science, and then identity resolution, companies like Neustar. I think PureCars was an early adopter of using some other data, just like Team Velocity was. But I think where PureCars lost, they got lost in the momentum. And I think also when you're primarily an advertising platform, when inventory levels went down, if your primary revenue is from advertising, right, not from websites or other things, it's crushing. I think this partnership with the Autominer and PureCars makes business sense. The question here is, will dealer groups re-embrace this concept of PureCars as their marketing automation partner, or will dealers be able to just buy the Autominer and not use PureCars as the marketing activation partner? This is one of the trickier things. Like, for example, Team Velocity, Joe High and the team, Dave Boyce, they have an amazing platform. It's a closed platform. So when you buy Apollo, it is a CDP and marketing automation. It is a hybrid, but they do the marketing. Now, there are other hybrids that do the CDP and do the marketing, but if you would prefer someone else to run some of the marketing campaigns, they're open, meaning they have API interfaces to allow someone to come in. For example, Team Velocity has an amazing mail house, on-demand custom printing. So maybe no one else does it better as a data-driven printing, right? So in an ideal state, I would say that Team Velocity should say, hey, if the dealer says, hey, Team Velocity, you do direct mail, but I got a better email marketing platform and I got a better OTT delivery, I want them to tap into your CDP. In a future case, I think that would make sense. But right now they're closed. So what we don't know right now is if AutoMiner and Pure Cars are going to remain open or tightly closed. Things like client command, things like driven IQ, others who are CDPs and marketing automation, but they don't do all the channels, are very open to having partnerships. The other key piece on activation, it's just not marketing. There's very little investment right now in people using the CDP to customize websites, CDPs to create automated text marketing campaigns or test messaging. I don't want to use the word marketing. I'm talking about one-to-one communication, or like digital voice assistants like Brooke or Stella, tapping into the CDP to actually do inbound or outbound call management based on data in the CDP. There's a lot going on. But I wanted to share with you, especially for those of you who know dealer groups, that I would say, like, if you're 10 plus stores, this and education on a CDP is super important. Now, my research report is going to be a big help, but we're going to have all of the major CDP players outside of automotive, inside of automotive, the people who've been really open and transparent at the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference. We're going to have a CDP roundtable where every 15 minutes dealers can sit with another CDP company, get to know their initial folks, introductions for the whole weekend. And then we have keynotes from the leaders in this area of hybrid CDP marketing automation. But we have folks from Telium, Treasure Data, Experian, Axiom, S&P Global, all the data providers plus the tech providers. We may even have someone from Salesforce's CDP platform, but we're going to have all the call companies talking about bringing call data into the CDP. So it's going to be an amazing conference. So I want to encourage dealer group leaders to get more people out to DMSC to attend and participate in this unique CDP roundtable, the CDP focus. The second focus of the conference is going to be on GA4, the application of the ASC specification, the reporting and activation of the data from GA4, super important for dealers as we approach the cutoff. Obviously, we're going to be talking about marketing automation and digital marketing strategies because there's been some amazing breakthroughs. Robert Donovan's on here. There's others who are really doing some cool things to help dealers activate their data. You saw the recent acquisition by S&P Global Mobility of Rusty's West Company's Market Scan with Automotive Masterminds and some of their other partnerships and data sources are going to be an amazing thing. Mike Colacchio's on. It's so cool that Auto Lead Star will be keynoting. They just renamed their organization to Full Path, right? I think that's correct, Michael, Full Path. They're going to be talking about what they're doing, and they're doing something smart, right? They're focusing on the CDP marketing automation combination. I call them a hybrid, but also being open to allow dealer groups to do the things that they don't do today themselves. So this is really important. So I want to encourage the vendor community, dealer community, if you're caring about first-party data management, and especially with new privacy laws, if you really want to look at your customers as a portfolio that you manage and nurture and personalize those communications, if you're looking for that, I want to encourage you to bring out multiple people from the dealer group to learn, to collaborate. And I have a special promotion code if you're going to bring multiple people from a dealer group. So you can just message me. I'll give you that promo code. So if you're going to bring 3 or more people, let me know, and I'll give you a special promo code to save. But I want to get you booked because the DMSC conference is just not CDPs. We have a lot to talk about the latest in marketing automation and privacy. We're going to be talking about GA4, the GA4 standards, reporting templates, and activation. And then our team will be talking about actually using the ASC standards in GA4 to optimize Google ad campaigns. This is super important. We're going to be talking about bringing the call data into GA4. I think team at Ansira and Marchex are going to be doing a really cool presentation of finally getting call outcomes and resolutions into GA4. It's going to be amazing. So please, I want you to think of 2 things. Number one, if you'd like an advanced copy of my CDP research report, just go to brianpash.com, scroll down the page, and put your name on that request form. The report will be coming out March 13th. This coming week, I'm going to be giving the vendors who participated in the report opportunity to review all the data, make sure everything is accurate. So this becomes the gold standard conversation on automotive first-party data management. And we have a lot of great experts, a lot of references, all documented references in the research report. And then we're going to be talking about really that research report in greater detail at DMSC. And then also, if you are struggling with GA4, you're not fully prepared, you need some templates, you need some advice on integrating that into your AdWords strategies, it's another reason to get out to the DMSC conference. We've been doing it 10 years in Napa. This year, we're going to be in Austin, Texas. The response has been amazing. And so I want to encourage the dealer community to really think about the future of your business by managing your first party data better. The DMS was not meant for that. The CRM definitely wasn't meant for that. And we need to make sure that we have everything put together for the future, that these millions of dollars of transactions that have gone over time can be unified, and profiles for each of your customers to better serve them, to better communicate with them, to automate some of that communication, to reduce labor costs, to personalize the shopping experience. You'll see a great example by Dealer eProcess at DMSC with their connected retail platform. They've had partnerships now with a number of CDP platforms. They're going to be showing you deep personalization. See, the CDP isn't just about Facebook and Google campaigns. It's going to really transform how you greet customers, how to BDC answers phone calls, how your website transforms to each customer, how you replace tasks that are being missed in the CRM or in your sales process through automation. That's why the future is really important. David Steinberg, man, 4 Eyes. I quote 4 Eyes in the research report because they brought up an amazing data point for me, which was the percentage of sales opportunities that are not put into the CRM each month. You see, I made the point that CDPs that only bring in the DMS and CRM are missing a lot of data. And I didn't have the data point until David's 2023, the 4 Eyes 2023 automotive survey and research. And what was amazing is they documented how many, they listened to the phone calls, how many phone calls were actual sales opportunities that weren't put in the CRM. This is why when a CDP company says, oh yeah, we don't coordinate with the phone switch, we don't take that data in, it's not that important. I'm like, bullshit. Because I think the number, David, and you can maybe put in that stat, I don't know, was it like, 13% of sales opportunities were not recorded in the CRM based on actual listening to phone calls. So if you bring in the phone calls, and now that a lot of the phone switches have call outcomes, so the ability to listen to a phone call and actually document that this call was a sales opportunity, right? That data can be brought into the CDP and say, hey, Brian Pash called, wanted to do something. Now you didn't put it in the CRM, but that's an important point. Maybe the person didn't think I was serious, or maybe the pay plan about conversion rates was screwing things up. So it's just an amazing thing how the community of technology companies have all come together to share. When I think of, and I'm just going to go through the team at Activator DS at Dominion, Auto Lead Star, which is now Full Path, Client Command, Dealerverse, Drive Auto CXM, Driven IQ, Drivonic, Full Throttle, My Auto IQ, Orbi, Outsell, the Auto Miner, Three Birds, We Drive Automotive. I can keep on going. But the truth here is that so many people have raised their hand. All of the data companies, all of the outside DMS companies have all said, Brian, we think it's important that we put together this research report. So it's coming out in the week of March 13th. And what I'll do is I'll just put the link. Let me put the link here in the comments. If you haven't already put your name on this list, there it is. The link to get on advanced copy of the research report. You'll get it a few days before it goes public. We're also going to be having a CBT News interview series of companies who are in this space, better explaining what their products do. The thing is we're in the early innings. I think we're in the first quarter of a 4-quarter game on the evolution of managing first-party data. That's why the DMSC conference is your key educational source. I was just talking to the e-commerce director of a large dealer group, and he said, Brian, I'm going to be sending 3 or 4 people from my team. They need to get this. They need to talk to the different vendors. But remember, you have all the data providers that are going to be there as well, right? The credit bureaus and the information bureaus and the ID resolution companies, they're all going to be there. So you can really get some clarity on what's going on. So if you're at a dealership or a dealer group and you want a special promo code, if you're going to be bringing 3 or more people, just message me. I'll give you the promo code and you can save on tickets. In the meantime, if you're a dealer, don't wait. The event will sell out. And we have a hotel block at the Downtown Marriott in Austin. So please book your hotel rooms and get your tickets. Lastly, I put out an article yesterday. Let's see if I can bring up that link because I think it's important that I just remind you of the observations. It's called 10 Observations about Automotive CDPs. Let me just share that screen here. So I'm going to share. Okay, slides, and hold on. Present. Come on. Stop screen share. Okay, and share screen and a tab. Yeah, here we go. There we go. So I just want to share that this article was just published yesterday, and I'd like everyone to take a look at the 10. I printed out the 10 observations that I had about the current marketplace. So if you're not subscribed to my Modern Retailing newsletter, please go ahead and do that. But I'd love your feedback. If you would comment on those observations that I made. That's all for now. I wanted to give you an update. I want to thank everyone who participated in the research, literally dozens of people, members of the CXO network. We're meeting next weekend in Scottsdale. They'll be the first to hear about some of my observations and research. But there is some lack of transparency currently today regarding CDPs. There is some lack of transparency on how data is updated in the CDP. And there is much confusion about how much is automated, how much is manual, how much does it cost, why should I be paying per rooftop if you're not in an OEM co-op program, there's a lot of topics that are going to be addressed. And I hope you appreciated this update. I hope to see you in Austin in May. And remember, the Digital Marketing Strategies Conference website is just digitalmarketingstrategies.org. I'll put the link here in the comments as well. And I appreciate any of your feedback. If you think that I may have missed a company that you believe is doing an amazing job for your dealer group in regard to CDP, shoot me a note, brian@brianpash.com. There's still time for me to talk to a few more people. I only have a few days left before the report goes out. But remember, today, OEM co-op, approved co-op, digital marketing co-op vendors don't completely align with the companies that are offering CDP marketing automation platforms. And that's a conflict that the industry is going to have to resolve. Agencies are going to have to pivot, and OEMs and OEM managers are going to have to open up the program, because dealer groups will be super, super upset if they feel like they're double paying for the same thing, or paying for an agency who's just pushing their audience through their platform. It's going to be a little tricky as the days go on. Mike Lizza, thank you. Dave, thank you. Steven, thank you. I see a lot of people. Mike Laccio, thank you. Tony, thank you. And please, Marta, how are you? Robert Donovan, thanks guys for commenting, and share this video message. Get a copy of the research report early by subscribing to that link. Just go to brianpash.com. And if you're part of a dealership or dealer group, they're going to be sending 3 more people, message me for a special discount code. Have a great day, everyone.